I'm about to show you phones that make $1,000 flagships look ridiculous. Small price, big power, and in some cases, better performance than Apple. Let's get into it. Number 5. Redmi 13 5G, the budget giant that shouldn't be this good. Let's start with the worst phone on this list, and I'm using that word very loosely. For around $170 to $200, the Redmi 13 5G delivers features that used to be exclusive to premium devices. You're looking at a 679-inch display with a 120Hz refresh rate, which means scrolling feels smooth, animations are fluid, and everything just feels faster. The resolution is full HD+, so content looks sharp whether you're watching YouTube, scrolling TikTok, or gaming. Under the hood, you get the Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 AE, paired with up to 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, and yes, it supports micro SD expansion. That's something Apple and Samsung still pretend is a luxury feature. Meanwhile, Redmi just hands it to you. The 5030 mAh battery is massive. For most users, this is easily a full-day phone, often a day and a half, and the 108MP main camera is wild at this price point. No, megapixels aren't everything, but with good lighting, this camera can produce surprisingly detailed photos that punch far above its price class. You also get Gorilla Glass protection, a glass back for that premium feel, and IP53 splash resistance. It's not waterproof, but it will survive everyday accidents. Now, the downsides. The display is IPS LCD, not AMOLED, so blacks aren't as deep, and colors don't pop as hard. The camera needs manual tweaking to look its best. Software updates won't last as long as Samsung or Google, and charging bugs can happen. But for under $200, this phone is insane value. It proves you don't need to spend a fortune to get modern smartphone features. Number 4. Samsung Galaxy A16 5G, the long-term value king. Now this is where things get dangerous for Apple. The Galaxy A16 5G comes in at around $199, and it delivers something no budget phone used to offer: longevity. First, the display. Samsung gives you a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED panel with a 90Hz refresh rate. That means deep blacks, vibrant colors, and excellent outdoor visibility. This is the same core display tech that Samsung uses in its flagship phones. The camera setup is practical and reliable. A 50MP main camera, 5MP ultrawide, and 2MP macro, plus a 13MP selfie camera. No optical image stabilization, but Samsung's processing is consistent, and photos look good in most situations. Performance comes from either the Exynos 1330 or MediaTek Dimensity 630, depending on your region, with 4GB to 8GB of RAM. Pro tip: skip the 4GB version. Go 6GB or higher if you want smooth multitasking. The 5000 mAh battery easily lasts a full day, and 25W fast charging keeps downtime reasonable. But here's why this phone is special. 6 major Android updates. Let that sink in. This $199 phone will still be getting new Android versions years after some flagship phones are abandoned. That's insane value. It means security, features, and resale value are all locked in for the long term. Build quality is solid, with a glass front, plastic back, IP54 resistance, and a fast side-mounted fingerprint sensor. The compromises: 90 Hz instead of 120 Hz, plastic build, no OIS, and the virtual proximity sensor can be annoying. But for the price, this is one of the smartest purchases you can make. It's not flashy, it's just smart. Number 3. Poco X6 Pro, the budget performance monster. If you care about speed, gaming, and raw power, this is where things get serious. The Poco X6 Pro costs around $240 to $260, and it feels like a flagship disguised as a budget phone. At the center is the MediaTek Dimensity 8300 Ultra, a chip that rivals processors found in phones costing twice as much. Pair that with 8GB or 12GB of RAM and up to 512GB of UFS 4.0 storage, and you've got a device that tears through games, multitasking, and heavy apps without breaking a sweat. The display is a 6.67-inch AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and a peak brightness that can hit around 1800 nits. Translation: it looks incredible, even in sunlight. The resolution is higher than many flagships, so text and images are razor sharp. Charging is where this phone embarrasses expensive devices. 67W fast charging. 0 to full in around 45 minutes. Meanwhile, some $1,000 phones still take over an hour. The camera setup includes a 64MP main camera with OIS, an 8MP ultra-wide, and a 2MP macro, plus a 16MP selfie camera. It's not the best camera on this list, but it's solid, especially with optical stabilization. Build quality includes Gorilla Glass 5 and IP54 protection, with a premium-feeling design that doesn't scream budget phone. But there's a catch. This phone can get hot during heavy gaming. That leads to throttling and faster battery drain. HyperOS can also be buggy, and there's no expandable storage. Still, if performance is your priority, this phone punches way above its weight. It's the gaming king of the budget world. Number 2. Google Pixel 8a, the flagship brain for budget money. This is where things start to feel unfair. The Pixel 8a sits around $299. And somehow Google managed to pack in the same core intelligence that powers their premium phones. This thing runs the Tensor G3 processor, the exact same chip inside the $1,000 Pixel 8. That's like buying the economy ticket and getting the same engine as first class. The display is a 6.1-inch OLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate and up to 2000 nits of peak brightness. Translation: it's smooth, it's sharp, and you can actually see it outdoors. Colors are accurate, blacks are deep, and the overall look is flagship level. But the Pixel's real weapon has always been the camera. You get a 64MP main camera with optical image stabilization and a 13MP ultrawide, plus a 13MP front-facing ultra-wide selfie camera. On paper, that doesn't sound crazy. In reality, the photos are ridiculous. Google's computational photography makes everyday shots look like they were taken on a professional camera. Night photos, portraits, random snapshots, this phone just nails them. Video is strong too, with 4K recording, excellent stabilization, and natural color science that many flagships still struggle to match. Now here's the part that destroys the competition. 7 years of Android updates. That means your $299 phone is supported until 2031. That's longer than most people keep laptops. Longer than many flagship phones get updates. And yes, it includes security patches and new Android versions. You also get IP67 water resistance, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, and Google's AI features like live translation, call screening, and smart photo editing. This is premium tech, stripped down just enough to be affordable. But it's not perfect. Charging is painfully slow at 18W. It heats up during heavy video recording or gaming. The display is smaller than some people like, and the back is plastic, not glass. Still, for camera quality, software support, and clean Android, the Pixel 8a is one of the smartest phones you can buy at any price. Number 1. CMF Phone 2 Pro, the flagship killer nobody saw coming. And now, the phone that makes people question why they ever paid 4 figures for a smartphone. The CMF Phone 2 Pro, around $279, is absurdly stacked. First, the display. A 677-inch AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate and massive peak brightness that competes with premium devices. Colors are vibrant, blacks are deep, and scrolling feels ridiculously smooth. This is a flagship-level screen pretending to be budget. Performance comes from the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 series processor, paired with 8GB of RAM and expandable storage. It's not the fastest chip on this list, but it's efficient, smooth, and powerful enough for heavy daily use and gaming. But the camera setup is where things get wild. You get a 50MP main camera, a 50MP telephoto with real 2x optical zoom, and an 8MP ultra-wide. Telephoto lenses are rare in budget phones. Most cheap phones skip them completely. Here, you get real zoom without digital blur. Add solid 4K video with stabilization, and you've got a camera system that feels genuinely premium. The design is also unique. CMF uses a modular-style back panel, customizable colors, and a minimalist aesthetic that stands out from the glass slab clones. It feels different, it looks premium, and it doesn't scream cheap phone. The 5000 mAh battery easily lasts a full day or more, and 33W fast charging keeps things moving. You even get reverse charging, which is rare at this price. Software is another highlight. Nothing OS is clean, smooth, and surprisingly polished. No bloated junk, no aggressive ads, just a minimalist Android experience that feels fast and modern. The downsides? IP54 instead of full waterproofing. No charger in the box. The modular back isn't actually user replaceable, and update support isn't as long as Google or Samsung. But the overall package is insane. Telephoto camera, bright AMOLED display, premium design, solid performance, all under $300. This is the phone that makes people rethink everything. Bonus pick: OnePlus Nord N35G. The battery king. This one didn't crack the top 5, but it deserves a mention for one reason. Battery life. The Nord N35G packs a 5000 mAh battery that can last 2 to 3 days for many users. That's rare. Add 50W fast charging, and you're barely ever plugged in. You also get a 6.72-inch 120Hz display, Snapdragon 695 processor, expandable storage, and a 108MP main camera that's decent, especially with third-party camera apps. The trade-offs are real. IPS LCD instead of AMOLED, plastic build, limited updates, and some software quirks. But if battery life is your top priority, this phone is a monster. So are Japanese mini phones beating Apple? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't need a $1,000 phone. These devices deliver 80–95% of the flagship experience for a fraction of the cost. In some areas, battery life, charging speed, software support, they actually beat premium phones. You get smooth 120Hz displays, powerful processors, cameras that rival flagships, massive batteries, years of updates, premium designs, and you keep hundreds of dollars in your pocket. The CMF Phone 2 Pro wins for overall value. The Poco X6 Pro dominates performance. The Galaxy A16 5G wins long-term support value. The Redmi 13 5G is the budget king. The Pixel 8a is the camera and software champion. So tell me, if you had to choose, which one would you buy? And do you think paying $1,000 for a phone still makes sense in 2025? Drop a comment, hit like if this saved you money, and subscribe for more honest tech breakdowns that cut through the hype.